I lied to my husband that I was good at tennis and had to have secret lessons when he arranged a doubles match.
Oh, all right, there we are. Lee?
Why would you lie to your husband about
Because he wasn't my husband at the time, and I was trying to...
Woo him?
Woo him. He's very sporty, so I told him I could ski.
And has he subsequently asked you to go skiing?
He took me skiing.
Did you have to learn to ski?
It was truly terrible. Well, somebody called Just actually taught me how to ski.
Just?
I can recommend Just. Skiing. Yes, so, no, I went and booked some lessons.
And what was he called, the instructor?
God, I can't remember.
And yet Just, like that.
Yeah, but Just was like...
Keely, keep it together, it's falling apart.
I can't remember.
What was the first thing you learnt on the tennis court?
How to bounce the ball.
And how do you bounce the ball? That was a quick bounce.
What do you mean? Well, it's only that big and it's only there to there.
Well, I think you tell her gravity would have taken a bit longer to get down and all, wouldn't it? Were you playing on the moon?
It's not just gravity, you can give a bit of force.
You can impart an impulse to it, yeah.
That's it, impart an
The rate of change of momentum is proportional.
Don't push it. Did you win?
Well, I got there and I feigned an ankle problem.
What
because I saw, when I got there, how good they were going to be.
So...
It was to impress him. I didn't think he'd start involving other people.
Is he a man for involving other people in general?
Right, we're not at a physicist's convention now. We'll keep this clean, please.
Yeah.
Now, listen here. Did your husband ever find out about these secret lessons?
I told him.
You came clean?
I came clean on the night that I made him dinner, pretended that I'd cooked it, and then he...
Your whole life is a fabrication, isn't it?
I sent it to him in the dark, and then he found... the Tesco Express box.
Oh, no.
And then it all came out.
Did it?
I said, I can't play tennis and I can't cook.
My name's not Jeff.
So what are you going to say, Lee? Truth or lie?
True or lie?
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
I believe that.
What do we think?
True.
I'll have to go with the team then. I'll say that.
So you're saying it's true? Oh, all right. Keely, truth or lie?
It's absolutely true.
Well done, Steve. I was doubting that one. Nice work.
Yes, it's true. Keely did lie to her husband that she was good at tennis, and she did have to have secret lessons when he arranged a doubles match. I had a relationship go wrong because I couldn't play tennis. Looking back, I should never have told that bloke I was Sue Barker. Our next round is called This Is My, where we bring on a mystery guest who has a close connection to one of our panellists. Now, this week, each of Lee's team will claim it's them that has the genuine connection to the guest, and it's up to David's team to spot who's telling the truth. So, please welcome this week's special guest, Mark. Welcome, Mark. So, first off, Patsy, what is Mark to you?
This is Mark, and he is currently teaching me to swim to overcome my fear of the water.
Right. Lee?
This is Mark, and he started the pub darts team that I play in, but I had to ask him to leave because he was so bad.
Right, so finally, Chris, your relationship with Mark.
This is Mark. He is my next-door neighbour. He lost a bet of £200 that In the Loop would win an Oscar, so I gave him my wheelbarrow.
Right, well, there we are. What could be simpler? Patsy's swimming teacher who cured her fear of water, Lee's sacked darts teammate, or Chris's neighbour who likes a bet. David's team, where would you like to start?
Darts. How can anyone be bad at darts?
What sort of standard of darts playing are you expecting in this team?
2 out of 3 darts in the board would have been good sufficient.
What did you say to him to check him out?
Patsy, can you be Mark?
Yeah.
This might involve acting, but just go with it. Mark?
Yeah.
That's you. Yeah, you're Mark.
Yeah.
You know this whole darts thing?
Yeah.
And you keep missing the board? Mark, look at me when I'm talking to you, Mark. We don't like the fact that you keep trying to get the dog drunk. And also, we were going to have to let you go because, unfortunately, you keep missing the board.
I cannot imagine you would say that to him. There's not a chance you're going to say, listen, mate, you set up the darts scene, but Big Lee Mack's in the room, get off.
Also, how seriously did you take this darts
I take
team?
darts very seriously.
Do you?
Ask me any checkout.
I don't know what that means.
All right, 151.
Oh, well, that's your classic treble 20, treble 17 tops.
Don't know whether that's true or not, but a couple. All right, then 164.
Oh, that'll be treble 20, treble 18 bull.
I
don't know how...
Bull, what's bull? 180.
You worked that out.
He's getting them right. He's getting them.
Is he getting the numbers right? Right.
Just say 180 again, Joe.
180.
I feel like we've just engaged with foreplay.
I know.
She's missed 180. We're on for a good one tonight.
Wait till I get to 69.
Did he set up another team? Did he just walk away and say, I'll give up darts because Lee...
He struggled to set up the other team, apparently, because he was going round saying, I'd like to set up a darts team. Have you had any experience? Well, I just recently left one because I was thrown out because I was terrible.
Sorry, that's not the usual next question when somebody says, I'm thinking of setting up a darts team. Have you had any experience? You're either somebody interested in playing a bit of recreational darts or not. You're not going to sort of go, have you had much experience? I don't know, I'm a busy man. I want to play in a high-level darts team.
It's a serious sport.
David, do you want to move on?
Yes, OK. Chris, why did you feel the need, when your next-door neighbour had bet some money on a film you were involved in winning an Oscar, why did you think you needed to make up the loss for him with the gift of a wheelbarrow?
I live in a terrace house, and the houses next door to me are flats. It's a communal garden, and Mark is the only one who ever bothers to look after them. Mark's never seen the film, but he went to the bookies, put 200 quid on it, and lost it. In the conversation that we were discussing it came up that he needed a wheelbarrow, and I felt bad because he'd sort of staked it.
So if you just said I could do with a leg over, you just said, well, there's me missus. You know what I mean? I feel really bad about the bet.
No, John. No, I wouldn't. I don't know how things work where you live, but wheelbarrows and women are not the same thing where I'm from.
You may well have given the wheelbarrow to assist him in cleaning up the communal gardens, but surely you didn't give him the wheelbarrow as compensation for your film not winning the Oscar.
I'd sort of intended to offer that he might borrow it. It kind of got out of hand.
OK, now, Patsy, you have a fear of water, is that right?
I did.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you had this all your life, or was there some harrowing experience you could amuse people with?
Yeah, I think so, but I didn't really know that I had it.
Right.
How did you not know you were scared of what surrounds us?
Because I've always swam, but I just
swam, but you didn't know you were shitting yourself.
But you wouldn't refuse to swim?
No, I swam.
So why
we had to swim when we were kids. We just used to get put in. It was freezing cold. Don't you remember when the teachers used to make you get in? And that was worse then because it was freezing cold. Kids would be crying, swimming, but they did actually make you get in.
Sounds like you're talking about Dunkirk. So you already could swim before you encountered Mark to teach you to swim?
Yeah.
Right.
How was your first lesson? When Mark said, right, let's have a go at the water, and you did 20 lengths. What did he say after that?
I didn't do 20 lengths.
So you decided you're going to have some lessons in order to improve the efficiency of your swimming, and then you get into the water and you realise, oh my God, I hate it here. This has been the problem. It wasn't the efficiency of my kicking and arms, it was that I hated it.
No, I just realised that I was actually quite scared of water. That's why I don't swim very well.
But you know
I don't breathe underwater.
None of us breathe underwater. I mean, that's a standard human thing.
No, you can breathe underwater.
No, you can't.
Oh, this should
we need an answer.
Lee gives every impression of knowing a bit about darts, but then I'm perhaps not the best person to scrutinise that.
He knows his darts, that doesn't mean that story's true.
I believe Chris, because of the wheelbarrow, or I believe Patsy, because Mark looks quite built.
So what are you going to say then, David? Who are you going to go for?
I'll go with Patsy.
Yeah, I
think Patsy, yeah.
So, you're saying Patsy's swimming instructor. Mark, would you like to reveal your true identity?
I am Patsy's swimming instructor, and I helped her get over her fear of water.
So, Mark, the first thing I want to clear up is this thing of telling her that it is possible to breathe underwater.
That's not quite true. She does very good front crawl.
Really?
Good breathing technique, and breathes out underwater, doesn't breathe in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Possession.
Ah, OK. Out with the box.
This is my bloody tent.
This is the...
I'll hold it for you.
Thank you. This is the cricket ball with which I bowled out Jeremy Clarkson at a charity cricket match.
There we are.
What sort of ball was it?
Can we see the ball?
A leg spin?
Don't give him multiple choice.
No, it was just sort of medium pace.
Go on.
Ready?
What are you expecting to see?
Well, there's a couple of things. Firstly, how long ago was this charity match?
It was 2 years ago, I think.
Because that...
What, are you checking the serial number?
No, I was looking to see how bashed around it was, where the splits were, if it looked like it had been hit.
I mean...
Don't eat it.
I'll tell
Can
you...
you show us your bowling action, David?
Yes, all right.
Start with a good catch.
Watch out, Miranda.
Oh! Whoa!
Can I just point out the inadvertent sexism that just happened? Basically, a girl caught something, and before any of you had a chance to think whether that might be patronising, you went...
Let's see the action, then. Let's see the bowling.
My bowling action.
Don't throw the ball, obviously.
No. I would bowl it, wouldn't I? But no, I won't let go. It's like that.
Oh, seems to have the action.
What score was he on when you bowled him?
I think about 12.
And did he run between them or just jump in his jag?
Which other popular celebrities were there?
Nicholas Parsons was there.
You've got a whole team. You've got quite a lot to go still.
And I think that was... everyone wasn't a celebrity.
So people were buying tickets to watch this game, and it was going towards charity?
Yeah.
Why were you there?
And the draw was Jeremy Clarkson, David Mitchell and Nicholas Parsons, 20 quid a ticket, yeah? That must have been a pretty golden ticket to get
So what are you going to say, Lee? Is he telling the truth or not?
Well...
I really don't think he is.
You don't think he is?
No, because it doesn't appear to be a ball that was used for that purpose.
What do you think, Hugh?
I think it might be true, actually. I think there's enough truth there...
You think it's a lie, you think it's true? I think it's a lie.
You say it's a lie. David, were you telling the truth or was it a lie?
It is a lie.
It was a lie. Yes, David did not bowl out Jeremy Clarkson at a charity cricket match. Of course it's a lie. I mean, given the chance to hurl a cricket ball towards Jeremy Clarkson, who among us could honestly say they'd aim at the stumps?
Looking forward to this.
I trained for last year's Paris Marathon, but pulled out when a doctor advised me that one of my legs is shorter than the other.
David, what do you think?
Why did you train for the Paris Marathon?
Because I couldn't get into the London Marathon.
Why?
One leg short than the other.
Because it was full.
What time of year is the Paris Marathon?
About April.
About the same time as the London Marathon, then. Lee, are they on the same day? Yeah. Do they clash? How embarrassing.
So you mean the London Marathon was full? It was a man dressed as a pig.
It doesn't mean he's a man who's dressed as a pig that hasn't applied early.
Yeah. They weren't going. We can't get enough people to fill this. Go up to the fields and try and rope some pigs into it.
Hello, pig. Yeah, well, we'll send one down. No problem.
What made you go to the doctor? Did you have an injury? Did you feel pain?
I did. I felt pain during the training and I said...
Where was the pain?
In my leg.
Is it not possible for people who have uneven legs to get shoes that compensate for that?
That's right. He said that. He gave me that.
Right.
He gave me the
why
thing.
wasn't that fine then?
When your leg's different, your whole body adjusts to make up for it. And it was so different.
It would have to be like a stiletto and a trainer.
He said, I'll give you the thing to put in your shoe, which will help you do some regular exercise, but your marathon days are over.
OK, so, David, what are you going to say? Do you think he's telling the truth?
Lie.
Why?
Oh, I believe it.
Thank you, Miranda. Thank you.
So, truth from Miranda, lie from David.
I think it could be true, but I think if he'd really wanted to do it, you could have done it.
All right, I'll rephrase it, OK? I trained for last year's Paris Marathon, but pulled out when a doctor advised me that one of my legs is shorter than the other. He did say, well, actually, if you really tried hard, you could probably do it, but I'm a lazy bastard.
So we're saying lie.
Your team says lie. OK. Lee, are you telling the truth or are you telling us a lie?
It is, in fact, true.
Yes, it's true. Lee did train for last year's Paris Marathon, but pulled out when a doctor advised him that one of his legs is shorter than the other. Actually, I have completely the opposite problem. One of my legs is longer than the other.
I have a 40% stake in a prize-winning racing pigeon.
Lee.
If there's one thing I know about, it's buying pigeons. So be careful with your answer. Tell me now, Richard, how much do you pay for 40% of a pigeon?
We paid £600.
Ah, you were robbed.
And it's about £70 a month to keep them, which is
£70 a month?
Yeah.
Wow. That is a lot of trill.
We don't feed him trill.
What do you feed him?
IPO, steroids.
Oh, well, fine.
£70 a month? What are you, taking him to Alton Towers? What are you doing with him?
Firstly, he's got to be housed, he's got to be fed,
yes,
he's got to be trained.
In a wooden shack.
Yeah.
I'm not going to leave him in a wooden shack. This is a prize winner.
Why do you say prize winner? What has he won?
He won the Prix-Calais.
Yeah.
And he's won some local things, but that's the proper deal.
Pre-Prix.
Correct.
Ah.
How many pigeons were in the race?
It's about 450. It's less than 500, but more than 100. It's
Come on, 500. The sky would be black then with pigeons. It's the Germans. They're back.
They're released in Calais and they race all the way to.
Well, they race home.
And where's home?
Essentially, well, his is up in Lancashire.
Right.
What's the pigeon's name?
It's called Cobbold Joe. Cobbold, C-O-B-B-O-L-D.
Cobbled Joe.
Cobbled Joe.
It's because the original, as you know about racing pigeons, right?
Oh, I do know about racing
pigeons. You know Toddy Cobbold.
Yeah.
Toddy Cobbold was the grandfather.
Yeah.
And so we chose that name. That's nice.
So is that true? Is there a pigeon called Tolly Cobbold?
Don't know.
You said you knew
mixing
about
me up with someone from a Hovis advert.
Are there any distinctive markings? So just if there were some pigeons there, say Trafalgar Square, I'd be able to go, oh, that's Cobbled Joe, down in London for the sales.
I'm going to be honest. I would struggle to choose her out of a pigeon parade.
Really?
But
her, and she's called Joe.
Yeah.
So is it Joe with no E?
Yeah.
That's fine. Shout for Joanna.
Yeah. Next question.
I think I might have this. Yeah. I don't think lady pigeons do the racing because they would be pregnant some of the time.
I tell you what, she better not be.
It was only a cuddle, wasn't it, Richard? Do you go and watch do you go and when they go off, do you watch it?
I have seen the pigeon race once. Yeah,
How much of the race did you see?
I've seen the pigeon release. You've seen the release.
Have you ever seen a pigeon land?
Yeah, I've seen
You were there when the pigeon
land.
landed?
No,
you've never seen a pigeon land?
Right, I've seen a pigeon land, yeah.
Yes?
But not under racing conditions. Is that right? You've just seen a pigeon land in its spare time?
Yeah, exactly.
So you've only ever seen... So what you're saying is you've seen your pigeon take off, but you haven't seen your pigeon land.
I have seen
Does that mean your pigeon's lost?
I don't think when a racing pigeon lands, it's any different than a normal pigeon.
Exactly.
Oh, wrong.
They don't get tipped like
Skids
that.
right to the shed and go, whoa, I was going fast.
No, it doesn't. It raises its wings as it presses the tape. That's what it does.
So, it's time to decide, Lee. What are you going to say?
I think it's true.
Do you think it's true?
I think, not true.
Let's say lie. I get confused if you say not true. It is a lie.
You think it's a lie? Richard, the pigeons, the racing, Cobbled Joe. Truth or lie?
A lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Richard doesn't have a 40% stake in a prize-winning racing pigeon.
I was once favourite to win an athletics event. But ended up coming last after an incident in a toilet cubicle.
David's team.
Well, right. OK, what was the athletics event?
It was a javelin.
The javelin, and when were you entered into a javelin competition?
When I was at school.
How old were you?
I was about 16.
And you were the favourite?
I was.
Why?
Because I could chuck it a long way.
How far? How far, roughly?
Probably...
For God's sake, make it less than 110 metres, which is the world record. Give yourself a fighting chance.
111 metres. I would say about 20 or 30 metres.
Were you also good at running fast?
Ha, ha, ha.
I mean, to be fair, I think that was a genuine question.
Oh,
to get the momentum to throw it.
Yeah, OK. I did actually, for a short time, hold the 100-metre record for our school. That was because I was having a fag behind the bike sheds and I heard the dinner bell.
What was the incident in the toilet that handicapped your performance?
I was preparing for a sports day, the afternoon, so I went in the toilet to have a fag, and I had a box of matches, and I struck one to light my fag with, didn't blow it out properly, put it back in the box, and the box exploded in my javelin-throwing hand.
Oh. Wow. So this is a story about a serious burn.
Yeah, so I had to throw the javelin at sports day with my left hand.
Well, Johnny, what do you think? How does this strike you?
I think it could be true.
And you think it's...
True.
OK, true. You are saying it is true. Joe, truth or lie?
It is true.
Before every World Championship final, I used to give a motivational team talk to my snooker cue, or as I called him, Sir Potts-a-lot.
David's team.
That's true. I just hope it's true.
Could you give us a flavour of the motivational talk you'd give Sir Potts-a-lot?
I used to put him in the corner of the dressing room.
Yeah. Stephen, I don't want to interrupt your flow, but if you are going to...
Oh, God, he's not looking for drugs again, is he?
This, and it's not just any cue, this is a cue signed by one of the greatest snooker players of all time, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Now, why don't you recreate the motivational talk?
You're in the dressing room, ready to go out, you've done your practice, and it's just, come on, it's me and you today. You and I, get to the table, we're just going to pot every ball, we're going to clear up and win the frame. Come on, Sir Potts-a-lot.
I feel motivated.
Stephen, I'm buying into this, but if you were playing and it wasn't going that well and you came in for the break, would you give it a stern talking to?
I would sometimes come in and say, what are you doing? You know, because it's not, because obviously it's nothing to do with me.
It'd be great if the cue went, what am I doing? What are you doing?
When did you first acquire Sir Potts-a-lot?
14.
You were 14 years old?
Yep, and it got actually broken later on in my career. I had come back from Thailand.
Yes.
We couldn't take the cues on board after 9/11.
Yes.
So we had to put them in the luggage.
That's the problem with 9/11. The cues got a lot worse, didn't they?
Chris, are you a snooker fan? You seem to know the lingo.
I haven't always been blind, so I used to watch it and I played it as well until my eyesight got worse. So I had to reduce myself down to a pool table and then, you know, and then drafts. I do believe it's true because I think it's the kind of thing that successful sportsmen do. They have these little quirks and it's what makes them amazing. And Stephen was amazing.
Thank you.
Now, Laura.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think it's true because when you speak about Sir Potts-a-lot,
your eyes light up and you're so enthusiastic and excited. So for that alone, I just feel like no one else could get that excited about a stick. So I think it's true because of that. Well,
I must admit, I'm pretty lost without my stick. I'll give you a talking to now. We need to get to the bank today. Are you feeling up to your game?
Have you given your stick a name, though?
Sir Fines-a-lot.
David, what about you?
When did you name your cue Sir Pots-a-lot?
It was a name, actually, my granny gave it to, so...
I have to say, if this is a lie, I'm going to totally re-evaluate you as a human being. I can believe that, firstly, in high-pressure sporting situations, there's going to be a certain amount of superstition. You want to do the same thing again and again and again. That's why I never wear trousers for this show. In a way, there's a clash, isn't there, between the triviality of Sir Pots-a-lot and the seriousness of the pep talk, and yet the story about the grandmother giving the name. Oh, yes, that makes sense of it, doesn't it? Yes. Of course. There will be something lovable in that very triviality because of the family link. So it's either true or it is a diabolical lie.
David's been under a lot of pressure recently.
I'm going to take a risk on true. If only one more time, I'm going to believe.
You're going to dare to dream.
Yeah.
All right. Stephen Hendry, were you telling us the truth about Sir Pots-a-lot, or were you telling us a lie?
It was a diabolical lie.
There it goes. There it goes, the last glimmer of faith in humanity. Flushed down the toilet.
Yes, it's a lie. Stephen didn't give motivational team talks to his snooker cue.
I used to practice skiing by strapping myself to the roof of a speeding car.
Right, please, team.
Is this how you lost your hair?
Might have something to do with it.
So, OK, when was this?
Oh, back in the late 70s, early 80s. I was a skier.
What, a professional skier?
Yes.
Were you?
Before you were an antiques guy?
Yes.
And you learned that on a car?
No, it was part of my training. We didn't have a lot of money, so we wanted to get used to going fast.
Where was
so we
this?
used to strap up in Austria.
In Austria?
Right, because there are no mountains in Austria where you can practice.
Are you talking about a professional skier in events, or you mean you taught people to ski?
No, I also raced around Europe.
I'll tell you what, if he's lying and he just added in, I was a professional skier, he's risking it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because we're going to ask him questions. And
Yeah.
Who was the best downhill skier in the 80s?
Franz Klammer.
Not you!
Franz Klammer.
I will never know.
So why wouldn't you use the mountains in Austria, then?
Well, for two reasons.
What are they?
One is I would have been a danger on the slopes.
Are you not a danger when you're strapped to a car on a road?
No, we weren't on a road.
Oh, where were you?
A racetrack. Well, it's actually a trotting track. It's for horses that trot round the...
And how'd you learn to ride them? Did you put the horse on top of the car and then get on top of the horse? You were never on a public road, were you?
No.
There was never any situations where the driver forgot and thought, oh, I'll just pop into this underground car park for a bit. What was the second reason? You never got to that.
We didn't have the money either.
But you had the money for a car and the hiring of a racetrack.
We didn't have to hire the racetrack. The car was thrown in, as it were. It was a special car because it had to have a very long roof rack.
What are you practising?
The feeling of speed.
So what sort of speeds are we talking about?
We tried to get to speeds between 60 and 80 miles an hour.
No. And all this holding you on is the boot attached to the skis?
Yes.
And what sort of pose, now, then, are you doing? Could you show us the kind of position you would assume?
I'd start standing up, and then I'd get down into this position with my
on the top of the
here
car.
Like this.
How long's the journey?
We just keep going around the track till, we're tired.
How are you telling the driver?
Yes, that's a good point.
Because you're on top of a car going at 60 miles an hour. And you're thinking, I'm knackered here, and so...
Well, I've got poles, and we had a system where you would just bang the car.
Oh, come on! One bang for stop, two bangs for a snack.
What are we thinking? Sophie, could he be telling the truth?
It's a 9 from me, it's a lie.
I don't know what you learn. What's that training used to do in a car? Because if you're on a ski slope going, oh no, I'm 60 miles an hour, I think I'm going to crash into the tree. Oh, I know. I'll tap on the window. Oh, no, there is no window. Doesn't work. What are you training to do?
Well, you know, just get used to the speed.
Right, what's your team going to say, Lee?
It's a lie.
Do you think it's a lie?
Lie.
We're going to go lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Raj, was it true, or were you telling a lie?
I was, in fact, telling the truth.
Yes, it's true. Raj really did practice skiing on the roof of a car.
I once helped Damon Hill to Grand Prix success by presenting him with a pre-race snack.
David's team.
Well, it certainly tripped off the tongue.
Thank you.
What was the snack?
A Scotch egg.
And is there a definite correlation between him eating that Scotch egg and him being successful?
He felt that the Scotch egg had helped him succeed in the race. He told me so.
Is Damon Hill a close friend, Bob?
No.
Then why were you giving him foodstuff?
Well, I'd been invited to the Grand Prix.
Which Grand Prix?
The British.
In which year?
1996, David, but I'm not willing to exclude 4 years either side of that. Put it this way, it was definitely one of the decades.
And do you like racing, then?
No, I'm not a Formula One fan.
Right.
I probably prefer soil science.
OK. Who was he driving for?
He was driving for a company that had very fast company cars.
So, why were you permitted access to a major racing driver?
Because his manager, Shane Tobacco... I can't remember his name.
You can't remember his name.
Shane, or whoever it was also with another bloke, you know, benefiting from hospitality.
What was his name?
Let's say Top Heavy Ken. Right. But I remember we went upstairs on the bus. Damon was there. He had a bed in there.
Like a sort of Winnebago.
Yeah. And it had, you know, mugs with I love cars, I love handbrakes, I love headrests.
And this is the day of the race?
David, this is just like an hour and a half before the race.
An hour and a half before the race. You've turned up an hour and a half early, because even though you're more into soil science, you want to soak up the atmosphere with a good hour and a half of waiting before the televised traffic begins.
Yes.
So you turn up, the last thing Damon needs before a race is any quiet time. He just wants a bit of hubbub on his bus. Were there any other people there apart from you and Shane and Damon?
I was with my wife as well, yeah.
OK.
And...
Top Heavy Ken.
So me and the wife went up. I think when you go to someone's home or their Winnebago or whatever, you should... Do you know, like, if you're going to a dinner party at someone's house, you'll always take them a bottle of vinegar, yeah?
So your gift to thank him for the hospitality was a Scotch egg?
No. I call it pocket meat. Whenever I'm away from the house, I have pocket meat.
Yeah.
That's it. I have, like, a chicken leg or pork pie. And I thought, I've got some pocket meat. It was a Scotch egg in its cellophane. And I said, Damon, we all know that if you pop a sausage roll in an American's pocket, it brings him good luck. I said, maybe a Scotch egg would work for a British fella like you. And I gave it to him.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, very much.
What, that if you put meat in an American's pocket...
Processed meat.
Have you ever heard of that?
Not really, no.
No.
It's all been a bit of a lot of talking. I've quite forgotten the original bit of the story. Did he eat said Scotch egg before the race?
I'll never know, Samantha, but after the race, he said that he took the Scotch egg round with him. He swore he did.
In the car?
I don't know whether he put it in the glove box on the passenger seat or whether he ate it.
But, Rob, you're not claiming that he ate the egg.
All I would say is that when I was watching, when Damon went past, in his tailwind, a person next to me said, Damon's tailwind smelt really meggy, which of course is meat and egg. Meat and egg.
So, what are we thinking, Sam?
Do you know what? Sometimes stories are so mad that they've got to be true.
What I would say here is be wary when it comes to Bob.
Oh, OK.
Do you remember, David, that I think it was the last time Bob was with us, he told us Chris Rea told him to put an egg into his bath.
I can't even remember. Was that true?
No.
But you believed it was true?
Yes.
Miles, what are you thinking?
Well, I think that you're sort of somewhat cynically using this as an opportunity to tout your kind of charms, and you're hoping to kind of drum up work, and then your agent's going to get lots of phone calls saying, well, would Bob Mortimer be able to sort of slip Gareth Bale a pasty and stuff like this? I think it's a lie.
You think it's a lie? But you think it's true?
I'm on the fence.
Oh, dear.
This is a horrible situation. I don't know. My instinct is it's a lie.
You're saying lie? OK. Yeah. Bob Mortimer. A lucky Scotch egg for Damon Hill at the British Grand Prix. Truth or lie?
I was telling the truth.
He's done it again. It is an impossible situation. One egg thing's true, the other egg... How can I have disbelieved the wrong egg thing? So obviously what they'd make up some random thing about an egg and a long-departed 90s celebrity.
Is he dead?
He's not... No, he's not dead. He's just... You never hear from him. What does Damon Hill do now? He's probably into soil science.
As an adult, I once accidentally took part in an under-12s swimming gala.
David's team.
What happened? How did you end up in the swimming gala?
Well, I went swimming.
Right. At a public swimming baths on a normal day?
It was a council-run swimming baths, actually. And I went in, and the pool was empty. But what I did notice was that there were people watching, you know, from the gallery.
Right, yes.
At the top, but no one in the pool.
Right.
So I got in the pool. Do you want to know more?
Yes. At the moment, you're just alone in a swimming pool being watched.
And then a gun went off. Like a swimming gala gun. So the gun went off.
Yeah.
And then just at that minute, a group of under-12s jumped in, and I was in the middle of a race.
Hang on. When you arrived in the pool area, right?
Yeah.
You noticed the pool is empty.
Yeah.
You noticed the gallery of spectators.
Gallery of spectators.
You didn't notice these lurking 12-year-olds.
They weren't there.
Do they normally fire the gun before anyone has entered the room or come near the pool?
Well, they must have been there, but I was distracted by the people in the gallery.
So you put a foot in the water, a gun goes off, some 12-year-olds jump in.
Yeah.
What happens then?
Then we'll swim.
You continued with your swim?
I'd paid my money.
And were the kids good swimmers? Were they overtaking you?
Well, when I reached, did a lap and reached the end, someone said that I had come third.
So what happened then, Lucy? Did you get a medal? I mean, how did it all resolve itself?
I think I could have pushed for a medal. I didn't. Basically, I got out and I was annoyed. I was embarrassed.
So what do you think, Anton? What do you think?
I think it could be a lie. In actual fact, I think it is a lie.
What about you, Desiree?
I mean, I feel very deeply in my bones that it's a lie.
To be honest, I was feeling more credulous. It can be disorientating walking out from the changing rooms into a swimming pool.
It can be disorientating walking out of a changing room to a swimming pool.
Yes.
I like the fact that you left that really mysterious, sort of... You aborted the anecdote. You went, I once...
Yeah, well,
yes.
To be honest...
Whoa! What did you do, David?
I'll tell you, but to be honest, I was worried I'd told the researchers for this show and it was going to crop up later in the series.
Oh, I see.
I got changed for swimming at a swimming bath, and I didn't know the layout of the place very well, and I just sort of walked out in my trunks and barefoot into some badminton courts.
Wow. 16 years? We're running out of stuff, and you just throw that away.
Yeah. OK, do you still think lie?
Yeah, but go with your gut.
Lie, we're going lie.
OK, they're saying it's a lie. Lucy, was it a lie or was it in fact true?
It was true.
Wow.
Yes, it's true. Lucy really did take part in a children's swimming gala.
Possession.
OK, there's a box under your desk. Could you take the item out of the box, pop it on the desk, and then read the card?
This was my lucky mascot Thumper. When I played for England, he had his own seat on the coach next to me and was always the last person I looked in the eye before leaving the dressing room.
Wow. Lee's team.
Can we get him?
Yes, let's see your sporting
Don't throw it forward. No. Do not throw it forward, otherwise that will be a foul.
You could pass it to me if you want. Team play?
Yes, of course. Catch it, please.
That's quite a thrill for me. Thank you.
Thumper. What?
Be careful with that.
Be careful.
Oh, Morgana.
Oh, Morgana, what are you doing?
All the places you could look.
Does it smell of?
Success. Yes.
I would imagine if this was, it would smell of like jock straps and sweat. And just mud and general.
Wow. Where did he come from, Hugo? Where did you acquire him?
Had him as a child.
As a child, so a gift from a kindly parent or relative.
Hang on. This belongs to Johnny Wilkinson. What's that? So, how long have you had him?
About 25 years.
OK, keep an eye on his face. Would that annoy you a bit?
Sorry?
I'm just checking out if that annoys you. He seems you're not that bothered, doesn't he? Look, I'm doing that.
So you said he sat next to you on the coach. How did that come about?
So I started playing rugby age 13 and I went to boarding school and he came along with me and he was a comfort to me at school.
Right.
Can I give him back now? I feel like...
No, you can't, because you're going to buzz him.
No, don't worry.
No, you don't.
I pretend it's...
No.
It's a conversion! It's a conversion!
No, you can't. No, you can't do that. No. You can't. No, you're clapping!
All right, so what do you think, Morgana?
I don't think the bunny smells right. It smells too clean. It smells like it's out of a kid's toy shop.
What do you think, Tom?
I think that you'd be terrified, be very scared of being bullied at the age of 13, going away to boarding school. The last thing you're going to do is attract attention to yourself by bringing out your thumping rabbit.
Lee? I think I'm going to go with my team and say that is a lie.
OK. Hugo, were you telling us the truth or was it a lie?
Lie.
I was sick into the FA Cup.
Oh, yeah. David's team.
Were you?
For the love of God, say yes.
I actually was.
That's a very good follow-up question. What circumstances?
So, basically, we just won the FA Cup, and then people do that thing where they pour the champagne into the FA Cup.
Who is we, Jill?
Manchester City.
Manchester City,
yeah,
right,
Manchester City. I take a sip of this champagne stuff, and I brought it back up into the FA Cup.
Did they sing a song like, we like to drink with Jill?
Because Jill is our mate. And when we drink with Jill, she dance her drinking 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yeah!
And then the
Yeah, and then I was sick, yeah. Are we the only two that go out?
Yeah, I've never heard that.
That's also new to me.
I've never heard that in my life.
But you know what the worst thing was?
The person who got the second swig.
I didn't tell the girls.
Oh.
I know, because then they were passing it round.
This wasn't a full vomit. This was more like a short-term regurgitation.
Yeah, but I was a bit sick.
Did it go down the wrong hole?
No, it definitely went down the right hole.
I think the part that makes me suspicious is I believe Jill was a really nice person and she'd be like, oh, I've just puked in that.
Is that your definition of a nice person?
What do you reckon, Koji?
I reckon you did it.
It's like the end of EastEnders.
You think lie? So it's up to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's true.
Jill, was it true? They think it was, or was it a lie?
So it was a lie.
Good work.